remarkable is it for Malik to go from not playing for such a long time and everything that he went through to make an NFL roster?
Yeah, I think it's a great example to all of us that you had some things go on in your life that he ultimately was responsible for, and he owned up to it, and he's made sure to make the most of this opportunity, and he's going to have to continue to do that, and he understands that.
And how's he been? I mean, we see him on the field, but how's he been off the field?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
What does he do for your defense, Kevin? Obviously, we saw him picking guys up the other night and moving them where he wanted to move them, but what can you do to help you guys?
Yeah, Tommy's very powerful, so you saw that on tape, but also has versatility to play either tackle position, to slide out and play the end for us, so has versatility in that way.
See a guy who's just continued to progress as camp has gone on and then showed up on the games?
Exactly right, and I think that's the beauty of our sport is the tape is your resume, and when you're out there at the practice field and it's showing up, and then it also shows up in the game film. I mean, that's who the player is.
How did the connection resolve between you and the Browns and him?
I don't know the entire story, Jeff. Not sure.
Did that versatility influence your decision to keep just 3 ends?
I think yes. In all those roster discussions, you're talking about versatility across all positions, really, Tony. And when you can bounce around the depth chart, so to speak, it really helps you from putting the 53 together.
Kevin, when you guys were vetting him to determine that you wanted to take him on, did you get a chance to meet with him?
Yeah. I mean, we talked to, as you can imagine, Nate, talked to everybody. Talked to Malik, obviously, brought him in for a visit, sat down with him. So he's well aware of what's at stake. And he's, from the moment he's been with us, he's done everything that's been asked of him.
Following up on Tony's thing about the 3 ends, because of that flexibility, do you not feel the need to add a 4th one, or do you think that's something Andrew's looking to do, is add a 4th true end?
I'd tell you, as you guys know, this initial 53 is fluid, and really the roster's fluid throughout the entire season. But just specifically to Malik, he does provide the ability to go out there. But how that relates to the 53, I wouldn't speculate.
You've got a lot of guys right now that are banged up. Some are dealing with those soft tissue injuries. The premise of my question deals mostly with Grant, but I'm going to ask a little more broad because you have so many guys that are banged up. Is Grant and some of these guys candidates for that post-initial 53 injured reserve?
I think we'll see the next couple of days how that works out, Daryl. But I'd tell you, all of those guys are progressing really well.
Kevin, with obviously JoJo was let go, so I mean, do you view Demetric Felton as your kick returner, or is that still up in the air?
I'd say he's our kick returner, and like any player, he's got to earn the role and then keep the role. He's got to keep working.
And would he return punts too, or
I'd say we have Demetric that can do it, and we have Donovan that can do it.
Kevin, we didn't see Malik Jackson or Richard while we were out there.
Yeah, Malik, Richard, and there's one other. No, Troy was out there. They're all excused personal.
With Tony Fields, obviously he missed so much time. Did coaches have to work kind of overtime to get him up to speed?
Yeah, I think you think of JOK early when he was out of the building, and Tony's been in the building, but standing there at walkthrough, so it's a lot of extra time. I'd tell you, really, with all the rookies and young players for that matter, these coaches spend a lot of time, extra time with them, both before meetings, post-practice here out in the field. So it's just any position coach has to work extra with his guys to get them ready, and typically it is those young rookies.
We've asked you about Chris Hubbard before, but he really fought back through a late injury to get to this point. Can you just explain how well he's done for you?
Yeah, Jeff, Hubbs worked really, really hard going through that surgery, and then the rehab is not easy. It's strenuous, and he's had the right attitude throughout. So really pleased with him, how he was able to work through camp.
how difficult was it? The depth of wide receiver was apparent from the open of camp. Just how tough was it? Obviously, cutting any player is difficult, but how tough was it to have to cut both Daryl and Georgia?
Yeah, I'd tell you, all those decisions, Daryl, are really hard. It's not easy to get this roster to 53. And I told the guys that the other night after the game. I wish I could keep everybody, but it's just not the reality of this NFL.
Will you wait until Monday
Monday or Wednesday to work on the Chiefs, or will you get in some work on the Chiefs this week?
We'll wait till next week. I mean, obviously it's a huge challenge, so I don't want it to be misconstrued that we're not working on them yet, but we'll get to them next week. But the coaches have certainly started working on them.
I know the roster's not done, but do you feel like you have much more depth than a year ago? I mean, can you see the striking difference?
Yeah, I don't remember last year though, Marla. You'd have to fill me in. I would tell you, again, getting this roster to 53 is very, very difficult, and I think that speaks to the depth of the roster.
Kevin, at this point, what's your message to Chase McLaughlin?
I don't know that I have a message for any of our players, really, Nate. It's show up and work for all of our guys.
I mean, about his status with the team.
Yeah, I don't think I have any message for anybody on our 53. They just got to continue to get better.
Kevin, last year most of the teams stocked their practice squad with their own player cuts. I don't know if that was unique to last year, or do you see that continuing as far as the Browns do?
Yeah, I think definitely unique to last year, or I should say last year was unique in that there was no preseason, so there were very few claims even last year, and you didn't have preseason tape on that class. So I'd anticipate that it may be different this year. There's definitely a lot of guys that we would love to have back on our practice squad.
Any restrictions for JOK, or is he?
He's good to go.
Are you expecting those guys that were excused to be back this week?
Yes.